In the biting chill of a moonlit winter night, a solitary man sat near his modest farmhouse, unaware that a strange presence awaited his arrival outside his door. A distant echo of crunching footsteps on freshly fallen snow signaled the approach of something that defied ordinary explanation. The wind whispered ancient secrets through barren trees, stirring both the frost on the ground and the depths of his troubled imagination. Out of the swirling snow emerged a figure cloaked in mystery and draped in armor etched with time and ice. This was no ordinary apparition but the fabled frozen Cavalier, whose form seemed suspended between life and a long-forgotten death. His eyes glimmered with a ghostly luminescence that recalled battles of yore and whispered of untold sacrifices. With measured, spectral steps, the Cavalier advanced as icicles clung to his armor like remnants of shattered dreams. A low, resonant voice escaped his frozen lips, carrying a plea laden with sorrow and a regal urgency beyond mortal ken. In that moment, the spirit implored the man to open his door and grant sanctuary from the relentless winter outside. Though fear warred with curiosity in the man's heart, an inexplicable compulsion urged him to heed the eerie summons. Rising slowly from his seat, he felt each heartbeat echo the icy cadence of the night as he approached the threshold. Outside, the tempest raged, and the swirling snow blurred the boundary between the real world and realms unknown. Frosted patterns on the glass of his windows seemed to form heraldic symbols that spoke of ancient legacies and fateful encounters. The Cavalier's gaze, fixed unblinkingly on him, conveyed both desperation and a silent warning of dangers lurking beyond sight. Each step toward the door was weighted by the anticipation of mysteries that transcended the natural order of life. The cold air carried voices of long-forgotten souls, each murmuring fragments of lore and lamentation into the night. With every exhaled breath, the man sensed the encroaching chill not only on his skin, but deep within his very soul. At the doorway, he hesitated, torn between a desire for rational safety and the irresistible pull of the supernatural appeal. In that suspended moment, the boundaries between myth and reality melded into a tapestry of icy wonder and impending dread. Memories of childhood tales about spectral guardians and mystical omens surged forth, filling his mind with both hope and forewarning. The silence of the winter night was punctuated only by the soft, insistent plea that emanated from the frozen figure. Every element of the scene, from the glistening snow to the faint, otherworldly light, seemed orchestrated by fate itself. The man recalled old legends that spoke of noble warriors doomed to wander the earth in search of redemption and refuge. A spark of empathy ignited within him as the Cavalier's haunted expression mirrored the loneliness of countless winters past. Slowly, the spectral night extended a gloved hand in a gesture that blended both invitation and the burden of ancient sorrow. Despite the chill that prickled his skin, the man felt warmth stir within him at the sight of such a solemn, heartfelt appeal. Each deliberate step toward the figure was a surrender to a destiny that defied the simplicity of his solitary existence. The crunch of snow beneath his boots provided a steady, rhythmic accompaniment to the silent dialogue of fate and longing. As he neared, the swirling tempest seemed to momentarily pause, holding its breath in anticipation of what was to come. Reflections of his inner turmoil danced on the frost-laden glass as he peered into the ancient eyes of the Cavalier. The once-dismissed legend of the frozen Cavalier now materialized in vivid, undeniable reality before his very eyes. In that charged moment, time appeared to fold upon itself, uniting the echoes of the past with the present in a single breath. The knight's posture, a curious blend of regal dignity and profound vulnerability, spoke of centuries spent in relentless solitude. Every chipped piece of frozen armor and every delicate shard of ice told a story of honor, loss, and a relentless quest for salvation. The man's pulse quickened as he realized that his ordinary life had been irrevocably entwined with a saga that spanned the ages. A shiver ran through him that was not solely born of the physical cold, but from the overwhelming gravity of the spectral plea. The enigmatic presence, bound by the eternal curse of time, exuded an energy that challenged the natural laws of life and death. Resolute yet trembling, he reached out to accept the offered hand, aware that this single act would alter the course of his destiny. The icy touch ignited a torrent of visions within his mind, revealing fragments of a heroic past and a future steeped in mystery. In that transformative instant, as the Cavalier's desperate plea resonated through the stillness of the night, the man stepped into an unknown realm where myth and reality merged into one. As the door creaked open, the man reluctantly stepped aside, allowing the frozen Cavalier to cross the threshold and enter the modest warmth of the cottage. The interior of the house, dimly lit by a solitary lantern swinging gently from the ceiling, contrasted sharply with the fierce, icy world outside. The Cavalier's frost-laden armor began to glisten under the flickering light, each icicle reflecting the quiet sorrow and centuries-old burden he carried. With a slow, deliberate movement, he advanced across the creaking wooden floor, leaving a trail of faint, shimmering frost on every surface he touched. The man, standing in awe and trepidation, watched as the spectral figure paused before a heavy oak table laden with remnants of past meals and memories. A soft gust of cold air escaped the knight's lips, and the room's atmosphere shifted as if acknowledging the arrival of an ancient force. The Cavalier's eyes, deep and mournful, met the man's gaze with an intensity that spoke of lost eras and unfathomable heartache. In a voice that resonated like the tolling of a distant bell, he recounted a tale of battles fought beneath endless snows and loves that had withered away in forgotten winters. The man, though shaken by the otherworldly account, felt an inexplicable pull to listen intently to every word the knight uttered. Every syllable that escaped the frozen lips carried the weight of despair and the hope of redemption that had eluded him for so long. As the narrative unfolded, the room seemed to darken, with shadows stretching across the walls as if to capture the fleeting essence of an ancient sorrow. The man's heart pounded in his chest as he tried to comprehend the magnitude of the legacy that now stood before him in spectral form. Outside, the wind howled in sympathetic cadence, echoing the timeless lament of a warrior who had transcended mortality. The knight's voice grew steadier as he described how a curse had bound him to wander between life and death, trapped in perpetual twilight. He spoke of a forbidden love lost to the ravages of time and a promise broken by fate's merciless hand, leaving him eternally in search of absolution. The man's eyes widened with each passing sentence, the surreal narrative blurring the line between myth and the raw reality of his own life. In that hushed moment, every creak of the old floorboards and every flicker of the lantern became part of an intricate tapestry woven from the threads of destiny. The Cavalier then produced a small, intricately carved pendant from beneath his cloak, its surface etched with runes that glowed faintly in the dim light. With a trembling gesture, he extended the pendant toward the man as both a token of gratitude and a symbol of an ancient covenant. The man hesitated, feeling the cool weight of the mysterious charm even before his fingers brushed its enigmatic surface. The knight's silent plea was laden with an urgency that belied the apparent calm of the room, urging the man to accept the relic without delay. As the pendant was finally grasped, a surge of warmth rippled through the man's hand, as if a long-dormant power had been awakened within him. In that brief exchange, the boundaries of time and space seemed to collapse, merging the spectral past with the fragile present. The man's mind swirled with visions of ancient battlegrounds, spectral armies clashing beneath swirling snows, and a love that had defied the cold grasp of death. Each recollection was as vivid as a dream and as real as the chill that still lingered in the air, transporting him into a realm of forgotten lore. The Cavalier continued his solemn monologue, his voice intertwining with the soft melody of the wind and the distant echoes of a bygone era. He explained that the pendant was a key to unlocking a sealed chamber within the house, a chamber that held secrets capable of altering destinies. With every word, the man felt a growing sense of inevitability, as if he were being guided by forces far beyond his comprehension. The old wooden walls seemed to murmur in response, reverberating with the promise of revelations hidden in the shadows of memory. As the knight described the chamber's mystical properties, the temperature in the room dipped further, intensifying the aura of otherworldly mystery. The man, now caught in a maelstrom of fear and fascination, realized that his encounter with the Cavalier was only the beginning of an extraordinary journey. The knight's tale wove together threads of destiny, loss, and hope into a fabric so intricate that it defied the simplicity of mortal understanding. He spoke of a fated ritual that required the convergence of ancient artifacts and the rekindling of a love that had once been pure and unyielding. The man's skepticism slowly melted away as the evidence of the supernatural became undeniable in the presence of the enchanted relic. Each carefully chosen word by the knight carried a resonant truth, piercing through the veil of ordinary existence with the precision of a master storyteller. The room filled with an almost palpable energy, as if the very air vibrated with the combined power of ancient promises and imminent destiny. The Cavalier's story reached a crescendo as he described the chamber's secret, a revelation that would challenge everything the man had ever believed about fate. With a final heartfelt plea, the spectral knight urged the man to gather his courage and prepare to unlock the mysteries that lay hidden within the house. The pendant, now glowing ever brighter, pulsed in rhythm with the beating of the man's heart, symbolizing the convergence of two worlds long separated by time. As the lingering echoes of the knight's impassioned words faded into the night, the man stood at the precipice of an adventure that would forever alter the course of his destiny. With the pendant secure in his grasp, the man felt a subtle vibration emanate from its mystical core that promised secrets beyond mortal understanding. Shadows danced along the creaking wooden walls as an unseen force beckoned him toward a narrow corridor leading to the heart of the mysterious house. The chill in the air deepened as he followed the spectral guidance, each step resonating with the echoes of bygone legends and ancient oaths. A soft luminescence, emanating from the pendant, illuminated a pathway marked by intricate carvings that told stories of heroic sacrifice and eternal longing. As he advanced, the atmosphere grew dense with an almost tangible anticipation, merging his present reality with the mysticism of an age-old curse. Faded portraits and time-worn relics adorned the walls, silently bearing witness to the myriad lives and lost dreams that had passed through these halls. The man's heartbeat quickened, each pulse a reminder that he was venturing into a realm where the past and present intermingled in uncanny harmony. In a small alcove, a tapestry of frost and shadow revealed a door inscribed with archaic symbols that pulsed in time with the knight's ancient lament. His hand trembled as he reached for the door, the cool metal of the handle sending a shiver down his spine as if awakening dormant spirits. With a resolute push, the door creaked open to unveil a dim chamber filled with relics that whispered of love, betrayal, and the weight of forgotten vows. The interior exuded a haunting beauty, where beams of moonlight filtered through cracked windows to highlight dust-laden motes that floated like memories. Each relic and artifact seemed to carry the essence of lost time, their silent testimonies echoing the tumultuous history of the frozen Cavalier. In the center of the room lay an ornate chest, its surface engraved with motifs of swirling snow and noble insignias that hinted at the knight's tragic past. The man approached the chest with both trepidation and curiosity, acutely aware that every object within this chamber held a story of its own. As he knelt before it, the pendant in his hand pulsed with a brighter glow, guiding him to trace his fingers along the carved symbols. A sudden gust of wind swept through the chamber, stirring the pages of an ancient ledger that rested open beside the chest. The ledger's faded ink chronicled epic battles and whispered secrets of forbidden love, bridging the gap between mortal memory and spectral myth. With each word he read, the man sensed that the ledger was not merely a record of history, but a map leading to the hidden truths of the knight's curse. The temperature in the room dropped further, as if the very air was infused with the cold sorrow of centuries past. A soft, melancholic tune, barely audible yet profoundly moving, began to resonate from an unseen source, filling the chamber with a spectral symphony. Drawn by the ethereal melody, the man moved toward a side alcove where a grand mirror, rimmed with delicate frost, reflected both his own image and that of a distant memory. In the mirror's depths, he caught fleeting visions of a woman in regal attire, her eyes filled with unspoken grief and a promise of redemption. The apparition in the glass seemed to beckon him, her silent plea intertwining with the knight's sorrowful tale and igniting a spark of hope within his heart. Compelled by the convergence of visions and the palpable pull of destiny, he reached out to touch the mirror's icy surface. The contact sent ripples of luminous energy across the glass, each ripple a testament to the interwoven fates of those bound by the curse. In that transcendent moment, the chamber transformed into a portal where time unraveled, revealing scenes of ancient valor and inevitable tragedy. The man watched, spellbound, as images of a bygone era unfolded before him, where battles waged under the relentless winter sky and love defied the passage of time. The knight's spectral presence loomed behind the mirror, his expression a mix of reverence and regret as he silently guided the unfolding narrative. Every element of the scene, the flickering light, the stirring wind, and the resonant melody, melded to create an overwhelming sense of cosmic significance. The man's inner turmoil gave way to a quiet acceptance as he realized that the keys to unraveling the knight's mystery lay hidden within this enchanted space. With each passing second, the visions grew clearer, revealing not only the knight's lament but also hints of a love that had been sacrificed at the altar of destiny. The grand mirror now served as a window into a world where the boundaries of life and death were blurred, and every soul was both a keeper and a seeker of ancient truths. A fragile hope stirred within him, urging him to embrace the transformative journey that the spectral realm had laid out before him. The melody, now swelling into a chorus of bittersweet notes, echoed through the chamber and resonated deep within the man's very core. In a moment of profound clarity, he recognized that the pendant, the ledger, and the mirror were interconnected artifacts meant to guide him toward a long-forgotten destiny. The chamber seemed to pulse with an inner light, as if it were alive with the collective memories of those who had suffered, loved, and endured the relentless march of time. As he contemplated the significance of his discoveries, the man felt the weight of the night's sorrow and the magnitude of the task that lay ahead. Every step he had taken, every whispered secret of the house, now coalesced into a singular purpose: to free the frozen spirit from the chains of his tragic fate. With renewed determination, he vowed to uncover the deeper mysteries hidden within these walls, embracing both the burden and the blessing of the ancient legacy. In that transformative moment, as the echoes of the spectral melody intertwined with the flickering shadows, the man stepped further into the labyrinth of destiny, fully aware that the journey ahead would challenge the very fabric of his existence. In the dim light of the hidden chamber, the man sensed that every heartbeat now resonated with an urgency he had never before experienced. The spectral energies that had guided him thus far seemed to converge into a palpable force that propelled him deeper into the labyrinth of ancient secrets. As he advanced, the air grew thick with memories of past glories and tragedies, each whispering to him like long-forgotten echoes. The walls, adorned with faded murals depicting heroic deeds and mournful farewells, bore silent testimony to the timeless struggles that had once defined this place. A narrow corridor opened before him, its passage lined with frosted statues of knights and maidens whose eyes appeared to follow his every move. The soft crunch of his footsteps on the cold stone floor was accompanied by an almost imperceptible hum that vibrated with the weight of unspoken destinies. Every step seemed to peel away layers of history, revealing the intricate tapestry of love, betrayal, and valor interwoven into the fabric of this ancient abode. The man paused at a juncture where the corridor forked into two, each path promising revelations and perils that transcended mortal reckoning. Trusting the luminous guidance of the enchanted pendant, he chose the path to his left, where the air shimmered with a faint, ethereal glow. The corridor opened into a grand hall whose vaulted ceiling was lost in shadows, yet every stone seemed to pulse with the heartbeat of bygone eras. Here, the temperature dropped further, and the flickering light of unseen torches cast dancing shapes on the walls that told stories of heroic sacrifices. At the far end of the hall, a massive arched doorway beckoned him, its surface inscribed with runes that glowed softly as if stirred by the touch of destiny. The man approached the doorway with a mixture of trepidation and resolve, aware that crossing its threshold might irrevocably alter his fate. With a steadying breath, he pushed open the heavy door, and a cascade of luminous mist enveloped him in an otherworldly embrace. Before him lay a vast chamber that defied the passage of time, where relics of a once proud lineage rested in solemn display. Statues of noble figures, frozen in expressions of both sorrow and hope, lined the chamber like silent guardians of a forgotten legacy. The ceiling overhead was a mosaic of shattered stars and ancient symbols, each fragment reflecting the celestial order of ages past. In the center of the room stood an ornate pedestal upon which a tattered banner fluttered, its colors muted yet resonating with an unyielding spirit. The man felt the pull of history, as if the very air around him were infused with the memories of countless souls who had fought and loved within these walls. A low murmur, almost like a chorus of lamenting voices, drifted through the chamber, urging him to uncover the truths concealed within its depths. His eyes caught sight of a weathered tome resting on a carved lectern, its pages yellowed by time yet brimming with cryptic incantations and lost lore. Drawn to the ancient volume, he carefully opened it, and the musty scent of parchment filled his senses with the promise of hidden wisdom. The text within detailed rituals and forgotten ceremonies that once bridged the mortal realm with the spectral, linking destinies across lifetimes. Each carefully inscribed word seemed to vibrate with a power that resonated with the luminous energy of the enchanted pendant in his hand. As he read, the room appeared to breathe, the walls pulsating gently as if in rhythm with the unfolding narrative of a fated convergence. A sudden gust of frigid wind swept through the chamber, stirring the pages of the tome and blurring the lines between past and present. The man's mind filled with fragmented visions of a majestic cavalier and a forlorn maiden, their eyes locked in a silent vow of eternal remembrance. In that fleeting moment, the chamber transformed into a canvas of spectral imagery, where the interplay of light and shadow painted scenes of passion and despair. He realized that every element in this sacred space was designed to guide him toward a deeper understanding of the night's enigmatic curse. The soft cadence of a distant melody intertwined with the rustle of ancient pages, creating a symphony that resonated within the very core of his being. Compelled by the overwhelming presence of destiny, he traced his fingers along the inscriptions on a pedestal, deciphering symbols of hope and sacrifice. Each symbol ignited in his mind a cascade of recollections that transcended the boundaries of time, blending myth with a palpable reality of his journey. The air around him shimmered with an ethereal brilliance as spectral figures emerged from the shadows, their forms delicate yet imbued with a powerful grace. These apparitions, seemingly the souls of those long departed, offered silent benedictions that filled a man with both awe and profound responsibility. In their silent communion, he sensed that his destiny was irrevocably intertwined with the legacy of the frozen Cavalier and the sorrow of the ages. The tome in his hands began to glow softly, its ancient letters coming alive as if reciting a timeless incantation meant solely for him. The convergence of light, sound, and the palpable energy of history created an overwhelming sensation of unity between the mortal and the spectral. With newfound resolve, he vowed to honor the legacy entrusted to him, embracing the burden and the beauty of the intertwined fates. The echoes of the chamber's whispered secrets reverberated through his soul, urging him to step forward into the unknown with unwavering courage. In that sacred moment, as the luminous mist slowly receded and the ancient tome's glow dimmed, the man realized that his journey had only just begun, heralding the next chapter of a destiny written in frost and eternal longing. The man stepped away from the chamber, his heart pounding as the weight of ancient revelations pressed upon his spirit. The luminous pendant continued to glow softly, guiding him through a winding corridor lined with the echoes of forgotten valor. In that moment, the air felt charged with an otherworldly electricity, as if the very fabric of time were about to unravel before him. The walls, etched with cryptic inscriptions and symbols, murmured secrets of battles fought in distant, icy realms. As he advanced, the sound of his footsteps resonated with the heartbeat of a legacy spanning countless generations. The corridor opened into a long-forgotten gallery, where portraits of noble figures gazed silently from ornate, dust-covered frames. Each visage in the portraits bore an expression of both triumph and deep sorrow, testifying to lives sacrificed in relentless struggle. The man paused before a portrait of a queen with eyes as piercing as winter storms, feeling an inexplicable connection to her silent lament. In that quiet moment, the corridors of the house seemed to breathe with the memories of those who had sought refuge within its walls. The spectral cavalier's presence lingered in the periphery, a silent reminder of the cursed destiny that bound them together. Drawn by an unspoken force, he ventured deeper into the gallery, where a narrow, winding staircase ascended into darkness. The stairs, worn smooth by the passage of countless feet, creaked under his weight as he climbed toward a loft filled with relics of ancient lore. On the loft's cold stone floor lay scattered fragments of a shattered mirror, each shard reflecting distorted images of a long-forgotten past. As he knelt to gather a few pieces, the luminous pendant pulsed in time with his accelerating heartbeat. In the glimmer of each fragment, he discerned fleeting visions of a love so profound that even the harshest winter could not quench its flame. The echo of a distant lament seemed to emanate from the mirror fragments, weaving a narrative of passion, sacrifice, and eternal yearning. Overwhelmed by the intensity of these revelations, the man carefully reassembled the mirror, aligning each piece with a reverence born of destiny. With every shard that clicked into place, a surge of ancient energy coursed through his veins, binding him more deeply to the spectral past. The mirror, restored to a semblance of its former glory, revealed a doorway into a realm of memory and mysticism. In its reflective depths, the man beheld the visage of the frozen Cavalier, his eyes brimming with untold tales of regret and hope. The apparition moved with a grace that belied the crushing weight of his curse, silently inviting the man to uncover further mysteries. A soft breeze, reminiscent of a dying autumn leaf, caressed the loft and stirred the dust of forgotten dreams across the floor. The man reached out to trace the cold, smooth surface of the mirror, and in that instant, the barrier between the tangible and the ethereal began to blur. Colors swirled and merged as the mirror transformed into a portal, its glass shimmering with spectral hues from a bygone era. With a mixture of trepidation and resolve, he stepped through the portal, leaving behind the comfort of the known for the uncertain embrace of history. The world beyond was bathed in a perpetual twilight glow, where remnants of daylight danced with the shimmering luminescence of ancient memories. Every step in this new realm echoed with a promise of revelations and the sorrow of lost souls whose stories were woven into the fabric of time. Here, the laws of nature seemed suspended, allowing him to traverse landscapes where the boundaries between life and death merged seamlessly. The air was imbued with the scent of frost and ancient parchment, a constant reminder of the many tales etched into the annals of existence. In the distance, a solitary figure beckoned, cloaked in an aura of melancholy and regal grace that mirrored the frozen Cavalier's own sorrow. The figure moved with deliberate steps, each motion resonating with the measured cadence of an age-old dance between fate and free will. As the man followed, the path twisted and turned through labyrinthine corridors of memory and longing, inviting him to surrender to destiny. The ethereal landscape was punctuated by remnants of ancient battles, where spectral warriors clashed in a timeless struggle against oblivion. With every encounter, he felt the pull of an invisible thread weaving together the lives of those who had come before him. The luminous pendant around his neck pulsed with renewed vigor, affirming his pivotal role in the unfolding saga of love and loss. Amid swirling mists and shifting hues, he discovered that his own destiny was inextricably linked with the ancient curse he had begun to unravel. His heart, now alight with the fire of newfound purpose, beat in synchrony with the rhythm of the spectral world that enveloped him. In that surreal confluence of memory and myth, the echoes of the past urged him to confront the hidden truths shrouded in eternal frost. Determined and resolute, he advanced further into the enigmatic landscape, each step a testament to the unyielding spirit of human courage. As the twilight deepened into a profound stillness, he embraced the unknown with open arms, ready to forge a future where the icy chains of the curse might finally be shattered. As the man stepped through the shimmering portal, he found himself in a vast, frozen expanse where the boundary between reality and myth dissolved into swirling mists. The cold was no longer an adversary, but a familiar companion that seemed to cradle him in its spectral embrace. Before him, the landscape unfolded like a forgotten tapestry, its threads woven with the sorrow and hope of countless souls. At the center of this ethereal realm, an ancient citadel of ice rose majestically, its spires piercing the twilight sky with a silent challenge. The man sensed that within these crystalline walls lay the culmination of the Cavalier's tragic fate and the key to unlocking his own destiny. As he advanced, the ground beneath his feet shimmered with frost, each step echoing like a heartbeat in the silent expanse. The luminous pendant at his neck pulsed in time with the rhythm of the land, guiding him steadily toward the imposing citadel. In the distance, the spectral figure of the frozen Cavalier materialized once more, his eyes reflecting a deep, unspoken plea for release. The Cavalier's form, both majestic and mournful, drifted forward as if borne on the wings of time itself. With a solemn nod, the knight beckoned the man to follow him into the heart of the icy fortress. The citadel's entrance loomed ahead, a grand arch of frost and ancient ruins that whispered secrets of long-lost legends. The man's heart pounded with anticipation as he stepped through the archway, crossing into a realm where the past and present converged. Inside, corridors carved from pure ice stretched into darkness, their walls etched with the chronicles of battles fought in eternal winter. Each step reverberated with the voices of fallen heroes, their echoes resonating in a symphony of both agony and hope. In a vast domed chamber at the citadel's core, a crystalline throne stood as the focal point of the ancient power that permeated the space. Seated upon the throne, a figure shrouded in the brilliance of frozen starlight awaited the man's arrival. This mysterious presence, neither fully alive nor entirely a ghost, radiated a calm authority that transcended mortal understanding. The man's eyes widened in shock as the figure slowly rose, its translucent form shifting between memories of glory and tragedy. In a voice that resonated like the crackling of ancient ice, the figure declared that the curse binding the Cavalier was older and more profound than any mortal had ever known. The cavernous hall fell silent, the only sound the soft hum of the citadel's ancient energy intermingling with the distant whispers of lost souls. The spectral presence explained that the frozen curse was forged in the crucible of betrayal and eternal longing, a punishment for a love that defied the laws of time. As the figure spoke, the images of past battles and shattered dreams danced along the icy walls, each vision a reminder of the price paid for defying destiny. The man felt his resolve waver as he absorbed the weight of centuries-old sorrow, each word etching itself into the fabric of his being. With a tremor in his voice, the Cavalier then recounted the final moments of his mortal life, a moment of passion and despair that had sealed his fate. The frozen Cavalier, now standing beside the throne, gazed upon the man with eyes that held both gratitude and a deep-seated anguish. He revealed that only by accepting the full measure of his legacy could the man hope to break the chains of the curse that had imprisoned so many lost souls. The spectral figure extended a hand toward the man, inviting him to take part in an ancient ritual that promised liberation from the icy bonds of fate. In that fateful moment, the man realized that his encounter was not mere chance but the convergence of destinies written in the frozen annals of time. His shock deepened as the ground beneath the throne began to tremble, heralding the onset of extraordinary transformation. The air grew electric with a surge of mystical energy as spectral figures emerged, their forms coalescing around the central ritual space. A chorus of voices, echoing from the far reaches of history, intoned a long-forgotten incantation that vibrated with both hope and despair. The man, heart racing and mind reeling, stepped forward to join the circle of light and shadow that now encircled the throne. Each word of the ancient chant unlocked dormant memories, bridging the chasm between mortal emotion and spectral destiny. The frozen cavalier's eyes shone with a mix of anticipation and sorrow as he guided the ritual with a steady, measured cadence. The man's shock turned to awe as the pendant around his neck radiated an intensity that illuminated hidden symbols carved into the icy floor. In that luminous glow, the intricate patterns of fate and time revealed themselves as a map to redemption and release. As the incantation reached its crescendo, a powerful surge of energy swept through the chamber, shattering the silence like shards of ice against stone. The man felt a seismic shift within his soul as the boundaries between his reality and the spectral realm dissolved into a torrent of transformative light. In the final, breathtaking moment of the ritual, the frozen cavalier's curse began to unravel, his spectral form softening into the warmth of eternal release. With one last, resonant sigh that echoed through the citadel and beyond, the man stood in stunned silence, forever changed by the shock of witnessing a legend freed from its frozen torment.